I group mind, or another word would be Ecuador. Mark Stevens on Guy TV has good explanations for it if you want to watch more about this or get to know more about an Ecuador. So what is an Ecuador? What is a group mind and how to create it? So the results of a group mind, I'll just share the results of it, is that it limits you, it caps you, it takes you out of oneself. I'm living here in Greece, and Apollo's temple, above the temple, has know thyself. So the Ecuador will, my group mind takes you out of knowing thyself. Now, to create an Ecuador, to create a group mind, you need to package it in a way that's desirable for people to get on board, because there needs to be a vision, there needs to be a mission, there needs to be a name. So if you want to create one, you need to create a name. You need to create a vision, a mission that will bring people on. It needs to be sellable, commercial in a way. So it needs to be something that's going to bring people on board. And the most important thing to create a group mind would to get them emotionally involved. They need to be emotionally involved. If you get enough people emotionally on board with your vision, with your mind, Ecuador, mind, what you're creating, there'll be a point where what your vision, what you've created, the group mind, putting their emotional energy in, this mind, because everybody's focusing on the one thing, will become intelligent and will become a life form of itself. And it will overgrow even the ones who created it, because now it's a living entity. Now it's a living system that has a power that's being fed by the group. So this is the point where people get absorbed, capped. They lose thyself. When there's a group mind, because the group is doing it, because they are being saved by it, there's a product that's going to save them, improve their health, save their family, save their children, they get on board. They need to be part of it. They become a family with this Ecuador, with this group mind. Once you're in that system, you're emotionally invested in that, and your focus is in that. So now you're on a mission. Now, the thing at that point is you lose connection with thyself, because now you're in the group mind. So now you've been capped, but now you're absorbing the information of the group mind, the mission. So now you're on board with the mission. So you're being fed information very easily, because now you're in the system. And then you'll be on a mission to bring it out into the world, because now you're emotionally invested into it. This is what I see in the world level at the moment, that there's names, missions, visions for the future. There has to be a carrot for the future to get people in. There has to be a carrot that it's for the higher good. And then they're invested in it. They lose connection with thyself, because now you're in a living entity which is feeding off itself, feeding off all these people, putting their emotional, investing their emotional time and space into it. Their soul information's gone into it. So now this thought form is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The more people involved, the larger it gets. So they lose connection with thyself. So I invite you, before the new year, to ask yourself, because the people in this system are not aware they're in their system. So I invite you, what Ecuadors, what group mind systems are you involved in? They always have a good invested reason why you should be part of it. How it improves your life. It needs to improve your life. It needs to improve something for you. So it needs to be sellable, okay? So we all want to improve oneself. So what group minds are you in? Even with gurus, that also is an Ecuador, positive, negative. It becomes a negative when you lose thyself. It's good to be involved with ones that have the same core values, but never to lose connection with thyself. It should serve you. It should serve your soul. You should be improving on your soul level, getting better. To a positive egregore for me is one that helps me improve connection with thyself, that I know myself. And I'm aware of this system is a system which helps me to know myself. And I know in that system are people's personalities and agendas and different information. As one soul, as an individual soul, I'm a unique soul. I have my subconscious belief systems. I have my other systems. I have my agendas. The group mind has an agenda. The main thing is that you get to know yourself. So I would invite you before the new year to ask yourself, where are you? Become conscious of the egregores that you're invested in, that you're a part of, that your families are part of, that your ancestors are part of. Because they all have the one thing, they all cap your level of consciousness. Different religions cap your level of consciousness. So which ones are you connected to? It could be a banking system, it could be a business system, it could be a religious system, it could be a health system. Which egregores, which systems are you plugged into? I invite you to be aware of them. I invite you to step out of them. You can use the words that I have even on Regain Sovereignty of Your Soul. I have that on my Instagram. From the highest supreme laws of the universe to reclaim full sovereignty, ownership of your soul, your free will. So what egregores are you connected to? And are they serving you? And then to disconnect from them. And to reconnect with thyself. Always connect to thyself. Even in the work that I'm doing, you're doing the webinars, connect to thyself. I'm simply offering you a way to get to know thyself. After the webinars or during the webinars, you're responsible for your connection to know thyself. I'm not your channel. You're your own channel. You're your own creator. So you will find people who can support you to get to know thyself. It's always important to step back and create space and feel into your system. Remember, nature is the best way to reconnect with thyself. So what mindsets, what egregores are people involved in? What ones are you involved in? Get to know them, familiarize yourself with them, see them for what they are. A thought-based, an egregore system is on the mind level. It's in the astral field. So it connects with emotions. It stimulates, it gets people emotionally involved and feeds them with information, but it's not creation. Creation is love, it's connection, it's life force. It doesn't limit you. In the end, if you get involved in an egregore that is a limiting one, it creates suffering. So which ones are you connected to and which ones are serving you? In this webinar tonight, I invite you, before you go into it, to really ask yourself these questions. Which egregores, which collective minds are you connected to? Or have you been connected to? Or your family ancestors have been connected to? Ask yourself, become aware of it. And in the webinar, we'll step out of them. Even past life ones. Become conscious of the unconscious. Get to know how systems work. When you become aware how they work, the power is gone from them. You're reconnected with thyself. So before we step into the new year, I really invite you to sit with yourself, go for a walk, ask you thyself, what collective mindsets have I been connected to? In my past, what collective mindsets have my ancestors been involved in? Have a beautiful new year if I don't see you this evening. And if you want to watch the webinar, if you're going out tonight with your friends and family, the recordings are there and you can watch it in your own space and time when you feel ready. And the webinar is really about knowing thyself, and to really disconnect from all systems, which is not thyself. So you can then, on the first, reconnect to thyself and commit to oneself. So have a beautiful, beautiful new year if I don't see you tonight or at the webinar. And yeah, thank you for all the love and support. And remembering that you have your own channel, you are the creator of your own life, and you have the power to change it. And we all have mindsets. We all have got triggers. We all have got systems that we're connected to from the collective and from the ancestral. Have a beautiful new year. Thank you.